So, for the final in Clopsey 10 2v2 tournament, final game of the best of 3 series, one apiece currently, in orange, on the North Spawn, we have Neverwin team. 2 commanders going bots double with triple vehicles, and of course they can get all their mechs in there, very nicely indeed. Meanwhile, on the Southern Spawn, we have Proxy with Lord Zelducus and Proxy going triple bots, followed up with some air and vehicle mix with bots in there as well. Now we're back onto the same planet as we saw in round 1 of this series, and of course, as we learnt so very well, you don't want to necessarily just turtle up and tech up. You want to expand out because there's all of this metal around the outside. So much map control to be had here. There's choke points here, there and everywhere that you want to maybe rush to get and claim down with some turrets. Let's see what Green are doing out there with the Fabricator getting the mechs early on. Some air coming out from the Neverwin folks. Very nice indeed, so they can see all of these docks charging for that choke point and realising, maybe we don't want to go in there just yet, let's pull back. And be fair enough. So Green were the first to this choke point, that's fair enough. Gives their Fabricator a time and chance to, build these mechs points, and as I was about to say, wall up, or rather, turret up. And that's going to be good, because they've placed it behind the choke point, which means the turrets will be focusing down once the units have been sort of funneled, which was optimal, shall I say. And they're trying to push out in different locations. Finally, some wiggle physics from wiggle physics. That's a thing from a few docks there from Team Orange. Very nicely done. The 2 Fabricators did manage to run though. I think they were scared for their life there and decided to get the mechs instead. Pushing out for Green as well on that side. They need to push out a little bit more offensively on this side here, because there's just so much land to contest and control here. Unlike the previous games in the final though, there is no naval, so there's no possibility for naval turtling to be a thing, thank heavens. I'm trying to not be salty this game, in case anyone realised. I'm trying so very hard. It is taking every ounce of my being to not be salty and to give these 2 teams a chance here. But as we see here from Green, though, pushing up with a few docks, they will meet a few sparks. They don't necessarily want to go in on that just yet. Maybe wait until there's a bit of bomber support, perhaps. Have they got one on the way? No, they haven't. I think they're just going to try and kite a few away from the main group there. But even so, pushing out with a few Fabricators around here, just establishing map control, getting turrets here, there and everywhere is a thing you want to do. It's a good plan, it's a good idea, and it's a good long-term investment, especially with the turrets, because, well, you claim map control and it's hard to kill off turrets, especially early game, which is why I believe they're considered meta at the moment. Yeah, and I haven't played many 2v2s of late, and in fact I haven't played much PA of late at all, because I've been focusing on many other things. A few spinners beginning to come out from Orange. It's going to negate any airplay from Green. Well, certainly at the moment, to deal with spinners you really need a group of bombers. You can't just have one bomber, because spinners are really good. Just thinking of what else to say, really. It's nice to see that their commander is pushing out here with all these vehicle factories. They have got the eco to deal with it. Neither team yet pushing for advanced, which is interesting, because both of the last games that we saw of players on this map, both teams went for the advanced tier stuff really early on. How many of you are left watching, I wonder? Enough, maybe? It doesn't tell me, I'm afraid. But anyway. So getting a radar there from Green is going to be nice, and because he's established this area of map control and he's trying to further do so, and he's going to lock down these choke points, this will be an ideal area to set up maybe a factory and a pelter, because not only will the pelter lock down the approaches to these choke points, but it could, might be wrong, but it might have range over this this lava canyon here, which will be nice, because then it'll begin to help with the defense of that choke point. Meanwhile, on the other side here, I hear turrets. Very aggressive placement for a turret there from Orange, just randomly locking down an area. It looks like the fabricator that built it, the offending fabricator, was destroyed, fortunately, very enough. Tanks trying to take out this single point. It will do, just. So I think before it manages to kill a mechs, it will get greeted and dispatched. Meanwhile, though, we see from Orange a large clump of spinners, though. Why they're mixing in quite so many spinners, I don't know, because we haven't seen such a heavy airplay yet in this game. So I think spinners at this point perhaps are redundant until you see or scout heavy airplay. You don't necessarily need quite so many spinners. I think maybe 2 or 3 will do, but that's going a bit overboard there. Looking at the army tab, though, we can see that green are ahead in the unit count. Also includes fabricators, and green do have a lot of those. Just beginning to expand aggressively there. What are they doing with these fabricators over here? They're going to put up another turret in this location, I would imagine they would. Or are they going to try and push around and maybe establish some control in this area over here? I think that's something that they might want to do. Green don't necessarily want to push out here, actually. They want to wait for Orange to come to them, maybe get up a few walls, possibly a pelter or two. Oh dear, the bomber trying so hard to take down the fabricators, but they were well microed there. Meanwhile, on the other side, though, we see a teleporter going up from Orange very nicely indeed, so that's going to mean that the units from within the base don't have to travel quite so long and arduous journey through all the terrain and choke points, and they just pop out straight there. We'll maintain pressure on green to a greater degree. Nice placement for a pelter, possibly behind walls would be a recommendation. I can't see why you'd place it at the same level as a turret, or indeed, you know, in front of a turret. I mean, they can defend it, but they really want to target this other pelter, and I suspect that pelter's just targeted this one. Yeah, it has. Which means that the green pelter will win out in this pelter off. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, well, there it goes. Pelted. But there is nothing defending this one, and the fabricator goes down. The orange offensive will out in this one. This fabricator here trying to get up a radar. Let's go back into the economy tab as we see that orange now have the superior unit numbers. Green struggling a little bit with metal. On the other side there, actually, their commander being under attack, down to below 65%. Nice Uber cannon there. But orange obviously stockpiled their units and just pushed through the walling off of that choke. So walling off of chokes works okay early game, but then if you find that your opponent is going heavy vehicles, or rather, sorry, if you come across a walling off like that, that's when you mix in a lot of infernos, because they can tank all the damage while you get close enough, and then the infernos can chew down the walls or the turrets, leaving your tanks unscathed. Which is a really good way to deal with any good turtling in like that. Yeah, that commander now probably going to remain there. I would, certainly. It would defend that that area. But he might not want to stick around for too long, because that force is quite aggressive. It actually looks here like this commander pushing out from orange, really, really offensively, establishing the middle ground there. Back to where the previous pelter from green was, just so many unit wreckages. I'm surprised we're not seeing combat fabs wandering around and scooping up the extra metal that there is. I mean, look at all that. So much metal. I mean, green could really get an advantage from this, but over here, though, I'll monitor the other commander situation over here. But this one could be potentially in a bit of danger while he tries to get up some P-gens. Sitting on 61%. May need to put up a few turrets before anything else. Equally, orange don't necessarily want to contest that commander just yet, because they'll lose units unnecessarily at this point. Looking at how the players are progressing this, though, still no heavy air game, which is interesting, and no advanced tier transition either. Curious. Felter's trying to go up though from orange here. Can't say that's advised. You probably want to establish the area with things like turrets before you do that.
Enemy commander in critical condition.
Enemy commander in critical condition. That must be this green commander over here. He's taking a lot of damage, down below 30% of his health. Sorry I'm being a little bit quieter, but my voice is hurting and people in my house are going to bed, so I can't really be too overexcited with stuff that happens. He's just going to defend that, but he has another force to have to deal with. Oh, wow. Orange commander on the other side. I didn't see that. Let's skip back about 30 seconds there. Over we go. Inferno's encroaching on the commander, who was a little bit out of his depth. The tanks there managed to finish him off really, really nicely indeed. There we go. Let's skip forward to real time. Teleporter at this side as well, next to a bunch of vehicle factories outside of the choke. Power, though, struggling with the teleporters. Why they got so many teleporters up, I don't know. This commander here, though, dangerously low to be quite so far out. I mean, if anything, they need to learn from the orange players that having a commander quite so out of his depth is going to be bad. Ah, didn't I say just a few minutes ago that they should be getting combat fabs and scooping up some metal? Ah. Speaking of which, is Lord Zoldukas still in Twitch chat? Could be sniping, I don't know. Aha, here's the heavy air game from green. But that commander definitely caught out of his depth here, trying to get good uber cannons off. Running in the opposite direction there. Can he get another one or two off? It's going to be close. Down below 15%, 12%, 9%. It's going to be very close. He needs to kill off the tanks before anything else. 3%, 2%, 1%, and he's gone! Must be! There he goes. One commander down a piece. Blimey, it looks like these players are actually playing properly for once. Still no T2 transition though. We do have a bit of a heavy air presence now from green, so that warrants the spinners or a heavier air answer from orange. Pinging teleporters from orange as well. So now that we've killed off the early commanders, it's about time that the players need to start thinking of their longer term aims and strategies. Because, well, they've killed off a commander, but now they need to just focus and attack in an area. Think about how they're going to get through the armies that are doing this. Nasty killing off a teleporter there, but enough of the army did manage to get through in order to defend. But they do, I think these teams need to think about where they're going to focus their attacks and do some attack focusing, because I think it's getting to that point where small groups of units aren't going to cut it. But the thing is, when you do attack focusing, you relinquish areas elsewhere on the map. And of course, that's where perhaps getting more turrets comes in, or transitioning to T2 comes in. I mean, this green commander out here has just put in tons of work. 10 vehicle factories. Very nice. In a line. 10 green factories. Standing in a line. Anyway. You don't want to hear me sing, right, do you? Anyway. Air presence from green, though, beginning to build over time, but I think orange is really realising this and beginning to answer. What is this tank doing? What? Can somebody explain to me this hero tank? This hero ant? Pff, still called a bolo, but we're waiting for the ant patch. The hero ant sat in there thinking, what on earth do I do? How do you even get there? More to the point, why hasn't he been killed off? It's like spy. Green spies in the base. Anyway, this force from orange here will be defended if green manage to rally their troops to the right locations. I don't know whether they will successfully do that. That's up to them. Commander from Orange, though, building vehicle factories as well. So I think lots of Infernos are going to help. Infernos will be able to help push through these units and just push them back, because the Infernos can take the damage while advancing the units behind them. You don't have to use the Infernos as actual attacking units, but they really are good at soaking the damage while you gain area. And you can maybe send in a few fabricators behind and just put up a few turrets and factories and things, just establishing map control in that way. It would be nice to see some T-True transition now, though. I think it's at that sort of point in the game where the teams can maybe think about it, although having said that, I just look at their economy tab and think, maybe not. Looks like that ant was destroyed. I managed to kill off another mechs, though. 1 ant for 2 mechs. I'd take that trade. Oh, dearie me. I was looking at chat again. Where are we? Okay. Back to the cast, though. Ooh, Pelter got pelted. So this is the thing, just re-establishing these choke points for oranges is a good idea. But the efficiencies, oh my goodness, look at that, 28%. You serious? That's nasty. That's just utterly nasty. But the Infernos here, though, this is what I mean. Getting a bit close, managing to do a little bit of chewing. Chewing all day long. But Fabricators beginning to bring up the rear, though. They're not really establishing themselves just yet. They need to maybe get those build queues sorted out. Green, though, pushing in at this side of orange. They're not going to make too much of a dent here. The turret will more than likely get completed there with ease. Interceptors coming over for no apparent reason. There's no good they can do there other than take some hits from spinners. Actually, it looks like this might break through a little bit. Well, I say that. There was actually a turret completed. But it managed to kill off that army and all those forces and fabricators. Although those ones will manage to complete the turret before it goes down. Which is good. Very nice and good. Orange actually... Oh, blimey. Have a look at this side. Orange have captured all of this stuff, and in the economy tab there you can see 258 metal, though they are still stalling, so perhaps they need to ease up on the production a little bit. I don't think their bots are doing anything at this point, so maybe they can pause those. Green has actually been pushed back quite hard, and oh, commander out of his depth. We need to keep an eye on this guy. Orange is just like, why should I engage the commander when I can kill off all your factories? And in fact, I think they're deciding, yeah, let's engage the commander, why not? There's Inferno there. Ooh. That's nasty. He's chewing through, though. Down to 77, 75. Down below 60. A couple of Infernos there, just chumping away. Down below 50 now. Another Inferno in range. Down below 40. Below 35. 30. Ooh. This force here is looking very, very aggressive. Could we see the end of the Clopsey 10 here? Oh, Uber Cannon almost hit. Fantastic Uber Cannon right there. He's trying to do that again. I don't know what. Acrobatic Uber Cannons for the win! Unfortunately, mate, that's not what you want to be focusing on doing right now. You want to be focusing on dealing with the army as you fall below 15% of your health, below 10% of your health, and that is the game! Never win. NW French folks. I believe they're French, are they? I think they're French. But they managed to claim the victory in the Clopsey 10. October 2015. Claim victory over a Proxy team, Lords Ulducus and Proxy. Very nicely played indeed. Back there with the sparks. A microed spark, are you serious? What is this? Meanwhile, yellow realising, okay, we weren't really prepared for that. Let's pull back, get some units together. But this comboxing is not going to end in yellow's favour, especially with the docks there as well. This could actually spell disaster for this yellow's commander if he has another miss Uber cannon like that. He needs to get out of those docks there. He's taking a lot of damage now, below 20% of his health. Another Uber cannon from the blue commander, and the docks just keep piling on the damage. I think the commander's going to go down, and oh my word, down go all the defensive units as well at the same time. Purple have the window now that they need to just pull in and look at this. They were ready with the boom bots to just follow that one up. Yellow far too overzealous with the commander, and the other commander saying, you know what, you tried it. I'm gonna succeed where you failed.